is 9 p.m. in RTD time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. So we have the certificate award ceremony for the first class of the training survey agents. Ramaphosa castigates Israel and calls for an end to apartheid in Gaza. Welcome to our newsroom. The message of condolence from the President of the Republic to his Senegalese counterpart. On Wednesday, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismaïla sent a message of condolence to his Senegalese counterpart, Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye, whose compatriot and eminent man of letters and cultures, the late Amadou Mahtar Mbow, died yesterday. Erudite and well-trained, the late Amadou Mahtar Mbow richly deserved his appointment in the wake of Senegalese independence to head the Ministry of National Education, then that of Culture, wrote President Gelle. However, he reached the pinnacle of success with UNESCO, which he led for almost 50 years with talent, courage, and ingenuity, said the head of state. With the passing of the late Amadou Mahtar Mbow, Senegal and Africa mourn the death of an icon and a leading figure who never ceased to work for greater representations of our continent in the concert of nations, noted the President of the Republic, reiterating his sad condolences to Mr. Bassirou Diomaye Faye. The Statistical Institute of Djibouti today held the sixth statutory meeting of the Statistics and Methodology Programs Committee at the Campus Hotel. On this occasion, in the presence of the INSTA General Director, Dr. Ibrahim Abdi Hadi, the experts presented the provisional results of their work with a detailed breakdown of the population by the district prefectures and sub-prefectures. This presentation has provided an opportunity to take a stock of ongoing activities and to highlight the importance of the data collected in refining public policy and improving planning at local and national level. The main thrusters of the national strategy for the development of statistics and statistical reform are aimed at strengthening the coordination of statistical activities and improving data productions in terms of quality, quantity, and regularity. This initiative is aimed to create a more coherent framework for the collection, processing, and dissemination of statistics in order to better meet the needs of decision makers and development stakeholders. For his part, the General Director of INSTA, Dr. Ibrahim Abdi Hadi, said that the main thrusts of the national strategy for the development of statistics and statistical reform are aimed at strengthening the coordinations of statistical activities and improving data productions in terms of quality, quantity, and regularity. Instead, today organized a ceremony to award certificate to the first class of surveyor trained in data collection. The ceremony held in the presence of the Minister of Economy, Jasmus Adawale, Instead's General Director, Dr. Ibrahim, and the international experts was a highlight for the participants. The certification training programs included modules on data collection, processing, analysis, and mapping. Its aim is to ensure data quality at every stage from collections to analysis. Instead has also taken the initiative of offering this training to the best investigators who have already contributed to the various survey and censuses carried out. The aim of this training is to enhance their skills and guarantee a high level of expertise in statistical data processing. For his part, the Minister of Economy and Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, underlined the importance of certification training for surveyors at the ceremony. Instead has also taken the initiative of offering this training to the best investigators who have already contributed to the various survey and censuses carried out. The aim of this training is to enhance their skills and guarantee a high level of expertise in statistical data processing. On the sidelines of the 79th United Nations General Assembly, Djibouti Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Mahmoud Ali Yusuf had a fruitful meeting yesterday in New York with Dr. Workney Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD. The exchanges addressed issues of common interests, notably the security situations in the Horn of Africa. Discussions underlined the importance of increased cooperation to ensure regional stability and address security challenges. The minister took advantage to the opportunity to call to redouble its effort to support initiatives to promote sustainable economic and social development. He expressed the need for us strengthening the partnership to address regional threats to security and prosperity. This meeting marks a new stage in the strengthening of relations committed to promoting the development in East Africa. On the sidelines of the 79th United Nations General Assembly, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, had a fruitful meeting yesterday in New York with Molifi, Assistant Secretary of the Bureau of African Affairs at the U.S. State Department. The exchange addressed issues of common interest, notably the security situation in the Horn of Africa and bilateral relations between Djibouti and U.S. Discussions underlining the importance of increased cooperation to ensure regional stability and address security challenges. Minister Mahmoud took the opportunity to call on the United States to redouble its effort to support Djibouti's initiative to promote sustainable economic and social development. He expressed the need for a strengthened partnership to address regional threats to security and prosperity. This meeting marks a new stage in the strengthening of relations between Djibouti and U.S., two countries committed to promoting security, peace, and development in East Africa. The Ministry of Labour, in collaboration with the World Bank, held a ceremony this morning to launch the English language training programs that forms part of the Skills Project. The launch ceremony took place at the ANFIP Amphitheatre. The ceremony was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labour, the General Director of ANFIP, Mahmoud Umar Gele, the General Director of INAP, Sharmake Idris, the Executive Secretary for Administration Reforms, and other officials. This event marks an important step in strengthening the language skills of professional from various sectors, responding to the growing demand for the use of English in exchanges. The aim of the training is to equip young participants with the tools they need to improve their command of English, whether in the field of communication or not. This initiative, organized by ANFIP, is part of a wider effort to support the development of professional skills through quality training tailored to the need of the job market. The young participant will benefit from expert supervisions and modern technician aids to enable them to achieve a high level of proficiency in English, with a particular emphasis on oral and written communication. The ceremony began with the opening remarks by INAP's General Manager, followed by detailed presentations of the training objectives. The General Director of ANFIP said that this initiative organized by ANFIP is a part of a wider effort to support the development of professional skills through quality training tailored to the needs of the job market. The ceremony began with the open remarks, followed by the detailed presentations of the training objectives. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Labour, Mr. Abdullah Mohammed Ali, said that the young participant will benefit from expert supervisions and modern teaching aids to enable them to achieve a high level of proficiency in English, with the particular emphasis on oral and written communication. On the occasions of the Pink October, the Ministry of Health, through the CHUD, organized an open day for the general public to discuss cancer at the Hussein Reproduction Center. Like every year, the National Pink October Awareness Campaign is dedicated to the prevention of female genital cancers as part of the fight against breast and uterine cancers. This awareness campaign is initiated by the Hussein National Reproductive Health Reference Center. The open day was attended by Dr. Ahmed Butak, Technical General Director, Dr. Ahmed Awale, Co-Director of the Anti-Cancer Programs, and Dr. Gumane Umar Hussein, a physician specializing in anatopathology. During this awareness campaign, which runs from September 16 to October 16, 2024, the Ministry of Health will be rolling out a plethora of activities, including open days and a screening campaign in Djibouti City and the 5 interior regions, focusing on the prevention of female genital cancers. All these prevention activities are designated to highlight the importance of early and regular cancer screening and the eliminations of the risks and factors involved. In Djibouti, Tuesday, September 24, 2024, a 3-day training course on participatory market management for the community development began yesterday at the Regional Council of Arta. The event brings together key players from the civil society organization and local governance structures. Among the personalities present were Mr. Shamaki Hassan, chairman of the steering committee, Mr. Almi Bouh, president of the Arta Regional Council, and Mr. Flavien Sassé, IMF International Technical Assistant. This training is organized within the framework of a project led by the Associations International of Francophone Mer and financed by the European Union. The aim of the activity is to introduce a participant to the basic concept of the community-driven development approach. It is indeed important that the various representations of civil society and territorial agents are familiar with the community-driven development process so that there is transparency in procurement procedure and understandings of the approaches adopted. Educational supervision is provided by experts from the Djibouti National ADDS in view of its proven experience in the community-driven development approach in Djibouti. The Brigade of the District 3, 4, and 5, in collaboration with the LANA, carried out a large-scale judicial operation on September 2022-2024, leading to the arrest of the 2 individuals suspected of illegal activities linked to the sale of non-compliant food products. The investigation also brought to light the use of the ingredient of dubious quality and the manufacture of food products in seriously unhealthy environment. This product, mainly consumed by children and sold in restaurants, exposed the population to the risks of food poisoning. Analysis carried out by LANA on the seized food product confirmed that they were unfit for the consumption. The people involved in this case were brought before the court on charge of aggravated endangerment. Once again, the public is asked to report this type of activities to the appropriate authorities in order to protect the health of citizens. The members of the Customs Brigade, in close collaboration with the elements of the Ali Sabih Regional Police Detachment and the Bias Army, intercepted a large quantity of smuggled cat goods from Ethiopia at the Galilee border. A total of 2,100 kilograms and cat was seized, placed in storage before being subjected to the procedure for destroying contraband goods. These interceptions of products smuggled into the countries are part of the fight against contraband of all kinds. In accordance with the standards procedure, this quantity was handed over to the Customs Brigade and destroyed on the spot in the presence of the head of the Ali Sabih Customs Brigade, Muhammad Mumin Hassan. Knowing that smuggling is a scourge that harms our country's economy, it's incumbent on every citizen to take up the fight to put an end to this illicit trade. To this end, citizens must collaborate with the forces of the Customs Brigade and the elements of the National Police Forces by denouncing the trails taken by unscrupulously traffickers under their hidenness of illegal products. The Somali government has repatriated almost 100 displaced people who were living a difficult life in Yemen. The Somali government has repatriated more than 80 displaced people from Yemen, including men, women, and children, including the elderly. The director of the Somali National Agency for Refugees and Displaced Persons, Safiya Hassan Muhammad, and other officials welcomed at Aden at the airport in Mogadishu. These refugees are repatriated from Yemen, some of whom have spent the majority of their lives outside their native country, trapped in a difficult situation in this war-torn country. As soon as they arrived at the airport, they returned The returnees expressed their satisfaction at being able to return home thanks to the government's effort and said they faced many problems including homelessness and poor health. The director of the National Agency for Refugees and Displaced Persons, Safiya Hassan Mohammed, speaking to the media at Mogadishu airport, said that they had been given supplies to sustain themselves until they got used to their new lives in Somalia. For the international scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa used his address to the United Nations General Assembly to strongly condemn the escalation of violence in Gaza. In a hard-hitting address on Tuesday, he compared Israel's treatment of Palestinians to the apartheid that devastated South Africa for decades. Ramaphosa did not mince his words. For him, the current sufferings of the Palestinians is part of a historical continuity. The violence suffered by the Palestinian people is the grim continuations of more than half of centuries of apartheid perpetrated by Israel against the Palestinians. We South Africans know what apartheid is like. We lived apartheid. We have suffered and died under apartheid. We will not remain silent and watch apartheid perpetrated against others, he declared forcefully. Mpox, nearly 13,000 suspected cases in Africa, according to the WHO. The World Health Organization has reported nearly 13,000 suspected cases of smallpox in Africa since the beginning of the year. Most of these have been discovered in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where tests are running out. The WHO report states that over 800 people have died from suspected smallpox on the continent during this period. Burundi, Congo's neighbor in Central Africa, has also been hit by a growing epidemic. A total of 2,082 confirmed cases were reported worldwide in August alone, the highest number since November 2022. According to the WHO, on Saturday, the World Bank's Pandemics Fund announced that it would grant 128,000 million to the 10 African countries to help them fight the epidemic. In the last speech to the UN General Assembly, President Joe Biden said that the U.S. Must not turn in on itself. This message comes as the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah militants in Lebanon threatening to escalate into the all-out war, and Israel's bloody operations against Hamas in Gaza approaches its first anniversary. The Pentagon has announced that it is sending reinforcement to the Middle East, adding a small numbers of troops. So the 14,000 or so already present in the regions. Despite these escalations, the White House insists that it is still possible for Israel and Hezbollah to diffuse tensions. At present, the conflict threatened to spread on several fronts, which would leave a lasting imprint on Biden's presidential legacy. And Brazil calls for the real fight against climate change. Brazilian President Lula opened the UN General Assembly yesterday for urging the world to do more to combat climate change, referring to the climate threat. The head of the state deplored the sense of priority of certain leaders, noting the amount of expenditure generated by certain armed conflicts that continue despite international law. These resources invested in wars could have been used to fight hunger and tackle climate change. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.